Hello, babies. Welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I'm Michael Pachter. If you are watching real time, it's because you're a Patreon patron, and we thank you for that. Or because you've linked your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, we thank you for that. Make sure you do that. There's a ticker below with the names of those of you who remembered to do that. Or your YouTube subscriber. That's all great. You're getting it real time. If you are not doing any of those things because you got no money, you can't afford it, you don't care to give us money, you're watching a week late. Today's question from Twitter from @Crumbear. My friend, who will soon have her bachelor's degree in virtual design, said she would rather apply for a job with a big studio than work at an indie developer due to financial security. Does it really make a difference? Do you have any tips for young professionals? Wow. You know, you asked a question, I'm not sure I know the answer. But I can give you a general answer because it really depends on the developer and the studio. Big guys tend to have pretty defined benefits and wage structure, and they tend not to, ramp up and ramp down based on their workflow because they have steady workflow. So financial security, if you work for, Activision or Blizzard or EA, you're probably going to have a job a year from now. They're probably not going to lay you off. If you go to work for an indie developer, they could lose their contract. They could make a bad game and have to shut down or lay off half their staff. So I get that. But it really depends on the indie developer. If you were asking me before they got bought by Sony if she should take a job at Insomniac, I'd be like, yeah, they're great. They're just awesome dudes. Very stable, always have work, always, every employee who works there loves the place. Before they got bought by Warner, NetherRealm, the Mortal Kombat guys, oh my God, awesome dudes. There's so many of these really, really good independent studios, and fewer now because they're getting bought up. Obsidian, I would work for Fergus Urquhart in a second. What an awesome, wonderful guy. I mean, he's the nicest man ever. People who work there love working there. It's collegial. They're a bunch of Blizzard refugees, actually. But he has no trouble hiring because he creates a great environment. I'm sure there are independents, I'm not going to name them, who are assholes. I won't name the assholes, but there are a few out there. But you're more subject to the workflow than anything. And a big company, Activision has its share of layoffs. EA has its share of layoffs. I mean, they shut down Visceral a couple of years ago. They do it occasionally, but I would rather work for the stable guy. That's why I work for Wedbush, because they're who I know. And I've been offered more pay at bigger firms, and I turn it down. And the real reason, the late Ed Wedbush, back in 2008, I thought he was doing a bad job running our firm because I thought we were missing opportunities that our competitors were pursuing. And then in 2008, a bunch of our competitors went out of business. So like Lehman Brothers disappeared. And a bunch of them, like Merrill Lynch, got bought out of bankruptcy, essentially. And Wells Fargo, Wachovia, those guys merged. And my God, so many people lost their job. And I went up to Ed Wedbush in 2008 and I said, I really learned a lot from you because I thought you were too conservative and missing opportunity, and now I realize you were appropriately conservative and making sure that we survive and thrive. And I believe our firm has had a loss one quarter since we were founded in 1955. So in 66 years, we've had one quarterly loss, and we made money every other quarter. And that's Ed Wedbush, and he died a year ago. Props to the guy, because I would rather be super secure. I've never for a second feared losing my job since I worked here. Really good employer. I have made less money than I could have made elsewhere with no job security. I could have gone to work, and my God, I got really close to taking a job at a firm who shall remain nameless. And 2 years later, they fired their entire research staff and got out of the business. So I would have gone for more money for 2 years and then been unemployed. And that I can talk about a bunch of former colleagues who went through that at every firm. Life's not worth it to me. The grief is not worth it to me. So I'm with your your friend who's soon getting her degree in virtual design. Stability is worth something, but again, if the indie studio is a stable one and they're good and you get to learn from the best, you take that job. It really depends on what your goals are in life. So my goal in life was security. I got a family, a mortgage, which is almost paid off. And when I have my mortgage paid off, then I can finally retire. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Please make sure, if you're a Patreon patron, that you also are a Twitch Prime link to your Amazon Prime account. There's a ticker below with your names on it. If you don't see your name there, you didn't do it right. Try it again. And if you're a YouTube subscriber or Patreon patron, we thank you. If you've linked Twitch Prime to Amazon Prime, we thank you. If you're watching for free on YouTube, follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter.